Question 2 is 7 marks. This is pure math one. Let's look at the first part. Sorry. So the first part says simplify fully, and before we do that, let's read this instruction here. In this question, you must show all stages of your working. Solutions relying on calculator are not accepted. So this is important. Let's look at the first part here. 3y cubed brackets 2x to the power of 4 brackets to the power of 3 over 4y x squared y to the power of 4. So we need to simplify this. What I will first do is I'll just put this 3 inside here. So the question will look something like this. 3y cubed and then 2 cubed and then x to the power of 4 to the power of 3. I split the 3 into the 2 and the x to the power of 4. Divided by, on the denominator we have 4x squared y to the power of 4. I didn't do anything on the denominator. Okay, again, we just split the 3 into the 2 to make it 2 to the power of 3, into the 4, into the x to the power of 4 to make it like that. Now, what I will do is, I'll just try to simplify it more. So it's going to be 3y cubed times 8, because 2 to the power of 3 is 8, times x to the power of 12 divided by 4x squared y to the power of 4. That's equals to, let's now combine, or let's try to use the indices, right? Now we have y to the power of 3 up here, and we have y to the power of 4 here. This is just like y divided by 4 y's. So these 3 y's will cancel these 3, so you'll have 1 y down. Did you get me? So I'll just end up by having a small y down here, 1y. Now for the x, you have x squared here, and you have x to the power of 12 there. So you will end up by x to the power of 10 on the numerator. Now we finish with the x's and y's. Let's look at the numbers. You have 3 and 8 divided by 4. 3 times 8 is 24, divided by 4 is 6. So it's 6x to the power of 10 divided by y. That's the answer for the first part. Let's just double check the mark scheme. 6x to the power of 10 divided by y, that's correct. Now let's look at the second part. Find the exact value of a such that 16 divided by root 3 plus 1 is equal to a root 27 plus 4. Let's do the second part down here. So it was 16 divided by root 3 plus 1 is equal to a root 27 plus something plus 4. 16 divided by root 3 plus 1 is equal to a root 27 plus 4. That's perfect. They ask you to find a. Now I'll first work on the left side, which is 16 divided by root 3 plus 1. We will rationalize the denominator. So we multiply by the conjugate, which is root 3 minus 1 divided by root 3 minus 1, right? Now, this will give you 16 times root 3, which is just 16 root 3. And don't forget, this is 2 terms, so you multiply the 16 here and there. Many students just leave the 1 like minus 1. That's wrong. It's 16 times 1, so it's minus 16. Divided by the denominator. If you just multiply, expand the brackets, it works. But when you rationalize, when you multiply by the conjugate, it's always the first one is squared minus the second one is squared. So what's root 3 squared? It's just 3. What's 1 squared? It's 1, so it's just 3 minus 1. And that's divided by. Now let's do what? Let's just leave the numerator, 16 root 3 minus 16 divided by 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now let's divide everything by 2. It's going to be 8 root 3 minus 8. That's very good. We can't do anything on this side. Let's leave it like that. Now let's look at the right side. It's a root 27 plus 4. So a root 27 plus 4. That's equals to 27 is root 27 can be written like 9 times 3, isn't it? So root 9 is 3, so I'll just take it out. So it's going to be 3a root 3 plus 4. You didn't understand this? If you didn't, I did what? Because it's 9 times 3. Root 9 is 3, so if you take it out, it will be 3 root 3. And then you have an a outside, so I just wrote the a. Now, we got the right side to be this, and we already got the left side earlier, so let's make them equal each other. So it's 8 root 3 minus 8. Now, to find a, we need to make a the subject. So how do we make a the subject? 2 minus 4 to cancel this 4. So you will have 8 root 3 minus 12 is equal to 3a root 3, right? Now, to make a the subject, sorry, I'll divide by 3 root 3. Now you will have 8 root 3 minus 12 divided by 3 root 3 equals a. Can this be a final answer? Let's check. How do they want the answer? They said write the answer like this. P plus P root 3 plus Q. So we can't leave it like this. We will again rationalize the denominator. So 8 root 3 minus 12 divided by 3 root 3. To rationalize this, you multiply both sides by root 3. 3 root 3 works. 3 root 3. Now that gives you 8 times 3 root 3 is going to be 8 times 3 is 24, and root 3 times root 3 is 3, so it's 24 times 3. I just want to write it like this. Minus 12 times 3 root 3, 12 times 3 root 3, divided by 3 root 3 times 3 root 3 is 9 times 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, and root 3 times root 3 is 3. Have you noticed we wrote a 3 in every single term? There is no need for this 3, so I'll just cancel all the 3's here, here, and here. Now why did I do that? Many students, they just multiply by whatever the denominator is. It's 3 root 3, so they just multiply by 3 root 3. It works, like we did now, it worked, but you will have an extra 3. So that's why, if you noticed in the beginning, I just wanted to say root 3, but then I said, let's multiply by 3 root 3. So this one, there is no need. You can just multiply by root 3, and it will give you the correct answer. However, if you multiply by 3 root 3, it's not wrong, it's just an extra work. Now let's see what we got up to. Now you have 24 divided by 9 minus 12 divided by 9 root 3. Then we just need to reduce 24 and 9. I think they can both be divided by 3. So it's 8 divided by 3 minus 4 divided by 3, right? Root 3. And that should be the correct and the final answer for A. Now that's 7 marks for this question. It's a lot of work, but it's easy. Let's go to the next question.